Hello again. Welcome to another edition of Quoth Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven, 30-year veteran, writer, illustrator, editor, talent scout, and publisher of comic, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games. This is another question and answers short. Might not be that short, but we'll try and keep it as short as possible. First in the room was the Sim Killer, so welcome. Next is John Norris, our regular resident follower. Good to see you again after a lengthy period away. He's been doing Rock of Ages local theater play recently, and unfortunately he won't be with us this weekend for movie night. He's got another event he has to attend, but that's cool. We wish him well on that excursion. Mark Andrew Smith in the house. Okay, our question today is about Black Panther, or Black Panther 2 actually. And the question is, what are your thoughts about the upcoming Black Panther movie and all the discussions about Chadwick Boseman not being recast as T'Challa Black Panther after his passing, and the complaints about Letitia Wright, who plays Shuri, and her behavior on the set. And then the whole Namor thing. Do fans have a right to be concerned, or is it hysterics? Multiple people have asked me to talk about this, so let's go ahead and get to it. First, I'm probably not the guy to be answering this question. I wasn't a fan of the first Black Panther movie, and that's nothing against anybody who was in the cast or the performances. It was just not a story that I found to be particularly engaging, in part because I'd already known the story from the comics, and this is a problem that many of the more recent Marvel films have had for me, but that's a discussion for a different time. So I'm not really understanding all the vitriol that has gone on the internet about the film. Especially from the African American fan contingency, but because they're demanding that the role of Black Panther be recast immediately. My not being a fan of the movie and my not being of an African American descent or African descent, I admit that I may be missing some element that makes this character more significant to them than it does to me. This was why I was hoping some of my friends who are Black, who have actually worked on the movie and have worked on the comics from Marvel, would join me on this discussion, but I got a resounding silence from them, so I guess I'm just going to have to wing it on my own. Maybe they think I'm going to be controversial in my take, I don't know. Anyway, my thoughts are that in the comics, since Shuri does take over the mantle of Black Panther, at least for a short period, I see no reason why they can't have that happen in the movie. And in fact, it does seem to be the direction they're going. And it just makes, it's an organic storytelling sense-wise. It makes sense. So I don't have a problem with that going on. But I guess the problem is that the actress who plays Shuri, Letitia Wright, apparently is on an outspoken anti-vaccination proponent in regards to COVID vaccines and has been outspoken about it on the set, which I guess has caused some issues. Now, how serious that actually is probably not very much. It's probably been blown up out of proportion by the media based upon what little I've been able to find from what I consider to be legitimate news sources as opposed to Hollywood gossip rags. The Hollywood gossip rags are all talking about it, but legitimate news sources, it's pretty quiet. Yes, the filming did get set back a couple of weeks because she was injured during a stunt. That happens all the time. That could happen to any actor doing their own stunts on any movie. I don't see a reason why anybody should make a big deal about them needing to take 2 weeks off because their star got injured in a stunt. That's not something to raise fervor about. Yet there does seem to be an extremely obnoxious component of the Black fandom that is demanding that a male Black Panther needs to be in the role, or they're complaining about right, and they're threatening to boycott the movie if their wants aren't met. Now, personally, I'd like to slam each of these yahoos' heads into a wall, split their skulls open, and find out just how little brain matter they possess. It's a damn movie. The storyline seems to be progressing organically and playing into the canon from the comics. What's your problem? Yes, it's a shame that Chadwick Boseman passed away, and you should miss him and stuff, I guess, in so much as you can miss anybody that you guys don't know personally. Yes, he was taken before his time, and that's sad, and you can feel some sympathy for his family. But no, I do not believe that Letitia Wright is crapping all over anything or over Boseman's legacy, because Boseman's legacy is much larger than the role of playing T'Challa or Black Panther. He was a very successful actor before that, and he contributed a lot to the world before he played Black Panther. And anybody who doesn't understand that is missing the point to begin with. Now, if the Black male community is whining because their role model is gone now and is being replaced by a female, let me remind them all that T'Challa isn't even close to the first Black Marvel superhero presence. You've had Wesley Snipes as Blade in the 1990s. You have had Mike Coulter as Luke Cage in his own series and in The Defenders on Netflix. You've had Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson as Nick Fury for years in the Marvel films. And yeah, it would be nice if they actually gave a full Nick Fury movie sometime, but we'll see. You have Anthony Mackie as Falcon in the movies and co-featured in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You've got Don Cheadle, who plays War Machine and could easily take over as a new Iron Man, as he did in the comics. So you got plenty of Black male role model, good people, good actors who can be your role model. So I'm a little bit perplexed in that respect, if that's what the hang-up is. And people say, well, you're not Black, you wouldn't understand. Well, that's why I wanted to hear from my Black friends who actually worked on the character about this topic. But I am part Native American, and there is for damn sure even less representation of my ethnicity than there has ever been for the Black community. So don't tell me that I wouldn't understand about a lack of representation, because I'm not going to buy into that. But as I've said, maybe there's something about Wright that has just got people's knickers and knots. Maybe they're just, that upset because she's an anti-vaxxer or whatever. Personally, I think it's been blown out of proportion, as is wont to happen with social media overreaction. But I am more than willing to listen to my peers who happen to be African American, who have insights that I likely won't have. I'm even willing to listen to other perspectives. Sin Killer says, honestly, I don't care about anymore about Marvel movies since I started not to care about the quality. The first BP was good till the third act. It will flop for several reasons, like Namor. Well, we'll see. They should have cast another actor. They probably will, but maybe not right now. Like I said, I think organically Shuri has been Black Panther in the past in the movies, and I don't see a reason why they can't have her for one movie and then bring another guy into play and the character later. But anyway, do I think Wright has overstepped her place with expressing her views on anti-vax publicly? I don't know. I'm not anti-vax. I'm sure she's not the only person on the set of BB2 that expressed those sentiments. She just happened to be the highest profile and an easy media target to create unnecessary drama from. But regardless of how I or anyone else feels about her opinions, I really don't see how that affects the character or the film. The actor is not the character, and people need to keep this in mind. As for the whole Namor as an Aztec Atlantean culture, again, I don't really have a problem with that either, because research has suggested that Atlantis could have been from the Mayan or Aztec culture. So I'm iffy about that. I'm not. That's not a killer for me. There's other things that are more problematic, I think, than that to get myself all worked up in a tizzy over. But I have to admit, when I did see the video, this is what I first thought. Wait a minute. They casted Austin Aries, the wrestler, as Namor, because the actor looks just like him. As you can kind of see, this, I put the wrestler right beside the photo shot of the actor who plays the character, and I just like it. Just so obvious to me, and that put my mind on a different wavelength. And I thought I'd go ahead and just be silly, so we could end this episode on a little more lighter note. There's other wrestlers who could be cast in Marvel and DC films, which we've already seen. Of course, John Cena's been Peacemaker, and Rock, Dwayne Johnson is Black Adam. But here's Cody Rhodes as Nuke, the villain from Marvel, the American Nightmare, playing a drugged-out super soldier. And I don't think he needs to go so far as tattooing the American flag on his face as the character did. The neck tattoo across his neck should already get the point across. That's actually there in real life. But they could paint his face up, just with normal face paint as well if they wanted. And I bet he could be a cool guest villain on a new season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then we have Alexa Bliss as Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie has told us that she's getting burned out on the role and doesn't really want to play the character anymore. So I say let Alexa play the role. Yes, she's much shorter than Margot Robbie, but she can certainly be more physical of a performer than Margot ever was, given her work as a professional wrestler and does stunt stuff as well. And she just naturally has the look, as you can see. Other options. Ava Marie as Mira. Well, if you want to get rid of Amber Heard, but still keep the character around in an Aquaman movie without the cost of a huge contract to replace her, former WWE diva Eva Marie's begun an acting career, and she certainly isn't worse than Amber as either a performer or a ridiculous drama queen, despite what her sometimes negative PR spin has been from other female wrestlers. And she definitely looks the part. Damian Priest, real name Luis Martinez, as Bushman for Moon Knight. Yes, I know he's not African, but one look at this guy and immediately saw him as the character. He's 6'5" to Oscar Isaac's 5'8.5", so he's got that size range difference between the two characters covered. And if the producers are worried about Bushman's origins being too close to Killmonger's over in Black Panther, which is why they did not cast a Bushman for the first season of Moon Knight TV series, then changing the race from black to Hispanic and making him a black market merc with whom Mark Spector had dealings with, and that's part of the past he's running away from and trying to create the secondary identities and stuff, would probably work. I don't know. I just think he'd make a really good. Just take a look at him. He just looks like the character. And he seems to have a decent presence on stage. Last but not least, we have Lance Archer as Omega Red. Now, you're never going to find a 6'11", 350-pound guy with acting skills. But Archer's probably as close as you're going to find to 6'8", 275, and he could probably bulk up to 290 and with the costume look the part. If you're relaunching your Wolverine character with an intro into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Omega would be a good villain to use if you want to avoid reusing Logan's main rival Sabretooth, which was done in the Fox films. Archer wouldn't be a bad choice for Sabretooth for that matter either. Scene Killer says, I would not like Conan to be a Viking. I'll have to get back to you on that. I mean, Vikings are barbarians too, but that's beside the point. Two great reasons for Marie to be Mira. Well, what? Two? There's at least three, right? I don't know, but anyway, yeah. Those are some of my thoughts, though, on that. A little bit silly. I could have probably come up with more wrestlers as actors. I just thought that was enough to go on to keep it relatively short for this episode. If you like that topic, though, of wrestlers as cast as superheroes, let me know in the comments below or email me at the address you see on the screen, and I'll revisit that as a topic sometime. Okay. I do hope that doing that at the end made this video a little bit more fun to be watched. I didn't want to leave viewers in a bad mood thinking about the negativity that surrounded the Black Panther franchise, and I thought a silly casting game would be applicable to lighten the mood. Later tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll be back with discussions on crowdfunding. What are some of the crowdfunding projects that I've come across? Some of them I back, some of them I just want to talk about. We'll talk about that tonight, and we'll do some more comic reviews. Again, that is at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, back on the YouTube channel. So if you liked this episode, I think others might. Hold on. What's that? Scene Killer says Undertaker as Tombstone. I get where you're coming from. I don't know. I mean, I guess he would shave his head and stuff, but I would actually say Kevin Nash would be better. Although Kevin Nash has already actually been in the Punisher films in the past, so I don't know. But I understand what you're saying, though. Undertaker as Tombstone sounds cute and everything, so yeah, it would work. Okay. If you like this video or think others might, hit the like, share, and subscribe button to continue to get content from my channel. As always, I thank you for watching and for your support. If you want to reach out to me on social media, I can be found on Facebook at Lewis.BrightRaven, at Twitter at LewisBrightRaven2. To see more of my artwork, go to deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You've been watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis Brightraven, exclusively on YouTube. If you have questions or comments, email me at quotheravenlbr72@gmail.com. And if I don't get back to you within a day or two or mention you on air, try lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com. That's all for this episode. We will see you guys later this evening at 8 p.m. Have a good day, everyone.